One of the last major U.S. parks I had yet to visit by the fall of 2018 was Busch Gardens Tampa. I scheduled a trip to Florida in late October with the main goal to finally get to this awesome, massive park. This is my experience at Busch Gardens Tampa on Monday, October 29th, 2018. Busch Gardens Tampa is only about an hour west of Orlando, so after visiting the Fun Spot parks on Sunday, we drove to Tampa to get to Busch the next day. I don't know if we're just stupid or if this is common, but we ended up in the drop-off area instead of the main parking lot, and we had to circle around a few blocks before finally finding the main lot. Then we took the tram to the main entrance and we were finally in. It was a Monday, so I was not expecting big crowds, but when we got into the cheetah hunt line, it was a solid 20 minutes, which surprised me. It was a good coaster, but everyone who says this is a family-style coaster is correct. We moved on to Cobra's Curse, and I was happy to see that this had a 5-minute wait, and this was an awesome family spinning coaster. The third and final coaster in the front of the park is Montu, which was a walk-on, and I was very impressed with my first back row ride. We then set off to find Shikra and had to ask for directions a couple times, and even the employees were a little confused where we were and where we had to go. We had to cut back across the front of the park and through the kids area before finally getting to Shikra, and this gave me the first impression of just how massive this park is. Shikra is the first dive coaster that I had ridden in over a decade that has the old school B&M restraints, and I thought the airtime was excellent. I really enjoyed this coaster the first time around, and I also enjoyed the station wait. Kumba was next, another ride that I got lost trying to find, but I eventually found it and it had a short station wait despite the one train ops, and I didn't really get the hype for it. It was fine, just like any other B&M looping coaster in my opinion. It reminded me a lot of Riddler's Revenge, which I think is a solid ride, and so is Kumba, but I don't really get why people put it in elite territory. We found the rest of the good rides pretty easily from there, as they're all bunched together, starting with the Wild Mouse Sand Serpent, and then the amazing drop tower, Falcon's Fury, and then the final major credit on Scorpion. None of these rides had any kind of wait to worry about. We were ready for round 2 for all the coasters, and this is where we discovered the Sky Ride. You board this in the back of the park pretty close to where Tigris is now, and it goes over towards Kumba to an outpost where it redirects you back over Cheetah Hunt and drops you off in Cheetah Hunt Station. So we naturally did Cheetah Hunt again, and for some reason, despite the pretty quick ops and multiple trains, this still had about a 20-minute wait. We hit Cobra's Curse again, and then Montu. Back on the Sky Ride in the other direction to Falcon's Fury, Kumba, and back-to-back rides on Shikra, which I thought were pretty rough. It actually gave me a pretty bad headache.
Because you won't get wet, but we will. There you go.
We walked down to the kids area and saw that Air Grover did not have a line, so we decided to get an unexpected credit.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. We worked our way to the front of the park for the last hour of the park's opening to get one more ride on Montu, but wound up getting 2 because I wanted to try the front row. Those 2 rides made me decide that this was the best ride in the park and the best inverted coaster I'd been on. We ended the night with a 3rd ride on Cheetah Hunt and then left to head back to Orlando for SeaWorld the next day. Here are my thoughts on the park. Everything about this park is so well done, from the ride settings, to the theming, to the quality of the rides themselves. This park has something for everyone, including a lot of animal exhibits and places along the footpaths where you can just stop and watch the animals in the distance. The coasters were all good, and they had a good balance of quality and quantity, and that will only get better with the addition of Tigris and the spectacular Iron Gwazi Hyper Hybrid in 2020. Other than Cheetah Hunt's line and Kumba's one train ops, I didn't wait more than a couple minutes for anything, so I definitely recommend weekdays in October as a good time to go. The weather was perfect, and the crowds were light. I do recommend checking out the park's website for their scheduled maintenance calendar. This was nice because I was able to make sure that none of the big rides would be down for this slower time in the season. So here's the final ride count. 4 on Montu, 3 on Shikra, 3 on Cheetah Hunt, 2 on Kumba, 2 on Cobra's Curse, 2 on Falcon's Fury, 1 on Scorpion, 1 on Sand Serpent, and 1 on Air Grover. The biggest disappointment was Kumba. I wasn't really expecting it to be that great despite the rave reviews, but I was kind of hoping it would surprise me, but it didn't. The biggest surprise was how good Montu was. This was another coaster that people rave about, but I wasn't expecting it to top Banshee. But the more I rode it, the more I appreciated just how much of a masterpiece it is, and it ultimately did overtake Banshee as my number one invert. Busch Gardens Tampa is a great park, and I will definitely be back in late 2020 or early 2021 to ride Tigress and Iron Gwazi. Let me know of your thoughts on this park in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.